真実を我々は忘れて久しい。
Hagiwara launched the manga in Weekly Shonen Jump in 1988. The series has since had irregular serialization in the magazine, and later in Ultra Jump starting in 2001. Shueisha published the manga's 27th compiled book volume in March 2012, and the series has over 30 million copies in circulation. Viz Media had released the manga in English, but stopped publishing the series with the 19th volume. The company cancelled its release of the 20th volume in English. Bastard is one of these shows that is extremely honest with its viewer from the start. Its cover and title are pretty much summarising it. It's a dark fantasy world with monsters, magic, violent fights, that has tons of metal music references. But most importantly, its main character is an absolute bastard. I would rate plot 6 out of 10. The plot in Bastard is definitely its main weakness. The first half has a pretty basic story. Its narration is simple and a bit repetitive, making it almost an excuse to draw the characters, jokes and battle scenes. But it's not necessarily a problem. While not being the most interesting show in the universe, it is still decent enough to be credible. The second half, however, is much more complicated. Around volume 13, the manga takes an insane turn, almost erasing everything that has been established before with a massive plot twist. And honestly, this is not even that big of a deal. The real issue with the plot at this moment is not even the plot itself, but the narration. It makes the manga seems way more complicated than it really is. And unless you're really invested in the story, you're most likely gonna lose yourself between the chapters. Following its weakness, let's now talk about Bastard. Strongest category, its visual. At the beginning, Hagiwara's drawing was already good. While definitely not the most detailed art, it has its charm, and really feels like an old school work that might attract a lot of people. However, the more the years have passed, and the more Hagiwara's art has improved, to the point where it feels like a different manga with its most recent volumes. It went from a pretty charming old school art to being one of the best in the industry. Fun fact, Guilty Gear video game series creator took Hagiwara's work as an inspiration for his game series character design. Bastard is one of these work that is heavily centered on its main character. And in its case, it is absolutely amazing, because even if every other character was bad, Dark Schneider's greatness would make it so this section would still have this score. Dark Schneider, also known as Darsh, or DS because of how long his name is an absolute Jaiga Chad. He is violent, ruthless, arrogant to the point where it makes Gilgamesh from the Fate series look like the humblest person in the world. He doesn't care about everything except himself, and is the embodiment of the 7 deadly sins, especially pride and lust. He is badass, charismatic, and extremely funny because of how absurd of a character he is. And while being incredibly overpowered, he doesn't feel like a Mary Sue for a bunch of reasons, which is great. Other than him, some secondary characters are pretty cool and interesting in the first half. It's not as much the case in the second part, but not the point of being bad. One in particular has a lot of screen time and development, but Darsh is definitely the star of the show. The only thing you need to keep in mind with Bastard, to appreciate it fully, is to realize what you're going to read, because you're really not supposed to take this manga seriously. It is a completely unique and different experience from what you might have watched or read before. The new season will premiere on Netflix worldwide in 2023. It will feature returning staff. The anime's first part, consisting of the first 13 episodes, debuted on Netflix on June 30 worldwide. The second part, featuring episodes 14 to 24, premiered on Netflix on September 15. The manga inspired a 6-episode original video, anime, in 1992 to 1993. Genion Entertainment, also known as Pioneer, released the anime on home video. Please like, comment, subscribe and share.